Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. This has been a week since I was here. I was here last week, Friday, I think 1 week after the conference.
Morning,
I'm just
everyone.
going to
Good morning.
share.
Morning.
Let me turn my
This has been
phone
a week
down.
since I was here. I was here last week.
I want to share it with my on my page, on my not Facebook page. So, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Facebook. In my group, on my page, Wounds to Scars, and on my personal page. So, my name is Joanna Daniel, if this is your first time watching me, and I work with adult survivors of childhood trauma and abuse. And we do that two ways at Wounds to Scars. No, not two, three, through courses, conferences, and retreats. We just finished our annual conference last week. And so, I wanted to talk about religious abuse this morning because I had a phone call this morning that really, hi, Linda, that left me in pain. Just pain, real tangible pain. And I decided that I wanted to come and talk about it because this happens so often and it's not addressed, and maybe because people don't know what to do. You know how they say hurt people hurt people. And I think to a large extent that this does happen, that sometimes when we're hurt, when the wound is not healed, the potential for us to hurt others is great. Happy Easter, Linda. So, and when it comes to religious abuse, this happens. So I wanted to speak to that, and I wanted to speak to that because if you're in it, if you've experienced it, then you'll know that it's not in your imagination and it did happen. And two, and I know I have these people in my community as well that work with people that is missionaries or in ministry, and I really want you to hear and listen to this because oftentimes when people are experiencing abuse, they come to you first before they contact me as a counselor or they contact any kind of helping professionals. So I really want you to hear it because when you hear it and you know what you're doing, you know what to do, then the chances of you hurting people are less when you know what to do. So when you're listening to people, one, when you're listening to people, don't have your own agenda. Don't have a way that you think it should go. Like it should be this or this. It should be fixed this way. When, for example, when you're listening to a woman who is telling you for the first time about the abuse or the 50th time about the abuse, don't have an agenda. Don't have a thing that you think she should do. Don't think, okay, I have to get the marriage to fix. I have to fix the marriage. I have to speak to her and her husband and I have to get it fixed. That's not your job. Your job is to just listen. Because as we know, abuse is not a marriage problem, it's a personal problem, the abuser's problem. And when you don't have the skills, and that's another thing I want you to really understand, because it really will free you and it will free other people and it will help other people. Know where you start, where you stop, and other people need to start. And what I mean by that is know when your level of expertise is you reach the level of your expertise that you can't do this. This is not something that you can work with, and know when to refer people on to support. Don't don't keep working with something that you have no skill set to work with, because you'll cause more harm than good. Don't do it. So don't so one, don't determine the outcome. Don't decide that you need to fix the marriage or you need to fix the relationship or you need to fix anything. Just learn how to listen to someone, know what your limitations are, boundary yourself, and know when to refer people on. Because when you don't do that, you will steer things in a direction that suits you and it doesn't help the next person. And that's where the abuse comes in. Because you'll steer it in a direction. You'll say, oh, this is what I think. We're wise in our own eyes sometimes. This is what I think. So this is the direction that it needs to go down. This is what you should do. And we give advice and we tell people what to do, and it's not what they needed at all. And so we cause more harm than good. And this happens often when we haven't dealt with our own stuff. When you've if you are in ministry listening to people and you haven't dealt with your own stuff, learn how stop. That's what I'll say. Um and I meant that in the nicest possible way. Get help for you, understand your own pain, heal your own pain, and then listen to people. Because if not, the harm that we cause is great. I mean, even when we have, the potential is still there. How much more when we haven't? So if you're thank you, Roxanne, if you're in this community and you're talking to someone who have not had the training to help you, if you have any doubts, I want to encourage you to seek out somebody who have the expertise to help you. For example, if your car broke down, you will not call your GP to fix your car. You will not call the plumber to fix your car. You're going to go to the mechanic. If your car broke down, you're calling the RSC, the AA, you're calling a breakdown repair person. You're going to go to the mechanic. Unless you're like me and your car broke down and you call your husband first. I'm sure lots of people do that. But that's just me messing about. But if your car broke down, you're not going to call the plumber and say to your plumber, my car broke down, can you fix it? Your plumber won't know what to do. So likewise, because somebody's in ministry and they preach really well, it doesn't mean that they know how the nuances of how to deal with emotional pain. It doesn't mean that. And and that's why sometimes, and they might not mean to perpetrate abuse and religious abuse, but then it becomes that because they don't have the expertise. They think because I read the Bible a lot and because I pray a lot, then I know what to do, but they don't. And if this is you and you're listening to me, don't shoot the messenger. Just hear it, take it, and get the training that you need to continue doing what you feel you're called to do. So that's one. So you're not going in with your own agenda. Learn how to hold people's story without an opinion. Learn how to hold people's story without an opinion. Your opinion don't matter. When somebody comes to you and tell you their story, what you think about it, it doesn't matter. That's their story. Your views are your views. You're entitled to it, but you're not entitled to share your views. So your opinion don't matter. And don't collude. Don't collude. And what I mean is somebody come and they tell you something and you think, oh, I'm on your side and this is it. And if there's a risk, if there's safety issues, if somebody is at risk of harm, then of course you'll have to do something. And that's not colluding. That's just responding. That's what you should do because you have a duty of care. And when you have a duty of care, as somebody share a story of abuse and harm and they're perpetually at risk, then you have to do something. But not colluding is taking a side and aligning yourself with this person because you've not heard the full story. And often people don't want you to do that. What they want you to do is to just hear them, continue to hear them, comfort, empathy, understanding, a place for them to come and unravel, and they go work on the thing over there, independent of you. Are you confident enough for people to be independent of you? And are you skilled enough to not allow people to become dependent on you? And are you able to give people skills that they can go use independently to thrive as whole individuals that they are? And I find that this doesn't happen. And I really want you to, you probably love the ministry that you're in, you love what you're doing, but it's causing harm. And so you really need to investigate these things. So you hurt people when you steer them in your direction. When we make decisions when we're in pain, sometimes we regret it when we make decisions when we're in pain. And it might not be the right decision for us, but because we're in pain, the pain, makes us make decisions. So it's really, it takes understanding and it takes discernment and it takes wisdom to know when this person's in pain and it may not be the right time for them to be doing this right now. But when you're steering it in a direction because you have an agenda, then you think you have a good outcome and you think this person was helped. But all you did was steer it in a direction that you think it should go. This person make a decision in pain and it was not the right decision for them at the time. You see? And humility. And I said this earlier, humility teaches us where we stop and someone else begin. Humility teaches us where our level of expertise has been exhausted and we need to refer people to somewhere else. Humility teaches us that. And I find that in the Christian community, there's not a lot of humility. There's not a lot of it. There are people who want to do everything without the resources, without the right training, without the right skill set to be able to do it, and you're causing harm. So I'm going to encourage you, if you're in my community and you're a helper, I'm going to encourage you to get the appropriate training and the appropriate level of exposure. There are many people who train you how to listen to somebody who has experienced abuse, for example. There are listening skills courses that you can take. There are mental health first aid courses that you can take. There's a lot of that out there that's available. Because you are a Christian in good and regular standing doesn't mean you have the skills to listen to someone who has experienced abuse. It does not mean that. It doesn't mean that you know how to fix a broken relationship, or it doesn't mean that you know how to listen to someone who has experienced sexual trauma. You can provide support, but if it's not in your skill set, it's not in your skill set. And it's really important that you can own that. The humility helps us to own that and know when to move forward. Um, so if you're here and you've talked to people and you were further harmed by their advice, by their direction, by their steering things, I really want to tell you that, I'm really sorry that that has happened to you, and that don't give up. Don't give up seeking support. Don't give up asking for help, because there are people out there who can help you. They're the right people there who can help you. And don't give up your journey of healing because there are people who listen who had their own agenda. Sometimes they know, sometimes they don't know, because of their own stuff blocking and causing you. And sometimes the tragedy for me with this is twofold. So one is somebody who was vulnerable is hurt again, and that is a tragedy for me. And another tragedy, another fallout that is really big, is people give up on God, because these people often have so much spiritual authority that they represent God almost, and because they misuse it and misrepresent him, then that's the image you have, and you decide you don't want to have anything to do with it. So I want to encourage you, if this is you, don't give up accessing support. Don't give up looking for help. Don't give up searching and seeking, because you will find it. So that's what I wanted to come and talk about this, because I was in all kind of pain this morning. So I wanted to come and just share those few things. Please share the video. If you're over YouTube, share this video with those who you think might benefit. If you watch this and you feel stirred, upset, angry, I think that's a good thing, because we weren't be stirred, upset, or angry for nothing. It would be because it would be something. It would be touching on something. So, investigate that for yourself and to see where that leads. Thank you for joining me. Have an amazing day. Take care.